and Kristen Bays. Vince Santini. If you would come on up here, please. District Judge, Judicial District 457.
Shane Albritton, get up here.
See, he doesn't need a microphone. Have you got the troops all up here?
I think they're here.
Shane Albritton. Shane Albritton.
There he is. Where do you want me over here?
You stand wherever you need to be.
I'm the big one in the group.
Well, I have it on good authority that you're better on this side for the photographs. So
Okay.
why don't y'all scooch over this way? Get over there. You. There we go. Thank you, Judge Mack. Little tips I get along the way. Folks, back in 2019, I was up to bat for the third time trying to be a judge. I'd lost 2 previous elections, and so it was either going to be third time's the charm or strike 3, you're out. Luckily, it was third time's the charm, and I became the judge at the 284th District Court, which at the time was the only full-time civil district court in all of Montgomery County. That court was pretty backlogged, and I had these grandiose ideas about all the things that I was going to do to fix that. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. But by the end of 2019, my staff and I had put together a winning formula. We reduced the backlog dramatically, and we created a system where it just wasn't going to happen again. Now, I'm not telling you that to brag. I'm telling you that because it's important to the next part of the story. In 2020, the legislature saw fit to give us another civil district court, and we sure needed it. To put it in perspective, El Paso County has a very similar population to ours. They have 12 civil district courts. We have 2. So I had a vested interest in who was going to become the judge of this other civil district court. It needed to be someone who was intelligent and hardworking, committed to our system of justice, someone that we could work together to make sure that justice was achieved in all these civil lawsuits in Montgomery County. That race had 5 people in it, and there was one who stood out head and shoulders above the rest, and I am not just talking about his height. That was Vince Santini. He showed his charisma. He showed his intelligence. He showed his public servant's heart. Every time I saw him, he was committed to the ideals that we needed for a judge of that court. I saw it in him, and I wasn't alone. Because a race with 5 people, and he won by just shy of 80% of the vote. Folks, that is a clear mandate. And never one to shy away from a challenge, Judge Santini hit the ground running. Our courts work together in making sure that justice is achieved in the civil cases, but he has actually risen above. He's improved things so much just by his commitment to our justice system. The numbers show it. He is ranked 3rd in the entire state among all the civil district courts in terms of getting cases over the finish line. You've all heard justice delayed is justice denied. Well, it will be neither delayed nor denied on Judge Santini's watch. Number 3 in the state. His better statistic is he is number 1 in the state among all the civil district courts in terms of the number of jury trials that he's had. He's had over 95, and that is made even more remarkable when you remember that 2020 we had something else going on. A little pandemic, and that interrupted court operations and not on Judge Santini's watch. He has had over 5,000 people come through his courtroom on jury duty, and they are always treated like family because of the high esteem that he holds them in for doing their public service and for helping him achieve the goals of looking out for all of us in our justice system. And those jurors actually like being there. They sometimes reach out to him unsolicited to send him thank you notes and to give him glowing reviews. How many of you are excited when you get that jury summons? Yeah, that's the way they are when they show up, but when they leave, here's what they have to say, a little sampling. The judge was energetic and excited with his job as everyone else was. He went above and beyond my expectations. I hold him and his entire staff in the highest regard. I've been through a lot in my 61 years, and never have I felt so important as on that day. I applaud his guiding spirit and principles and each and every one of his court, the folks standing up here beside him. Another says, it was refreshing to see your obvious passion for the law and the legal process and the respect that you showed to everyone in the room. I felt that you were always in charge and focused on moving things along at an appropriate rate. Thank you for my little glimpse into the justice system, and I hope it runs everywhere as well as it does in your courtroom. That's what he's achieved. But it's not just about those numbers. It's about his leadership, which has been well recognized. Mothers Against Drunk Driving awarded him the Judiciary Service Award. The U.S. House of Representatives gave him a commendation for his judicial service. And his staff back here nominated him and had him elected to be the boss of the year for all of Montgomery County. That's because Vince always answers calls to service. Just last month, which was yesterday, the Board of District Judges met to elect our administrative judge for this year, basically the president of the district courts, and unanimously, Judge Santini won. He will be our administrative judge to make sure that our system of justice remains protected. And frankly, you need to look no further than that program you're all holding to see how beloved he is in this county. Basically, I'm the opening act and the rest of the show is all his. So his first election, he won with 80%. This last election, he won with 100% of the vote. No one ran against him because he's got some pretty big shoes to fill. When you have the best, you thank your lucky stars. And we do. Vince Santini has a true servant's heart. We are lucky to have him. He sometimes talks about all of the things that I've taught him, but Vince, I'm going to tell you, I've learned so much more from you. It is my absolute honor to be the person who gets to swear you in for your second term, but also to be your colleague and your friend. So, I'm going to invite you to please come stand over here. Will please put your hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I, Vincenzo J. Santini.
I, Vincenzo J. Santini.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The duties of the office.
The duties of the office.
Of District Court Judge.
District Court Judge.
457th District.
457th District.
Of the State of Texas.
Of the State of Texas.
And to the best of my ability.
To the best of my ability.
Preserve.
Preserve.
Protect.
Protect.
And defend.
And defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
And the laws of this state.
And the laws of Texas.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Oh, now I see this thing is drooping down. I can't fix that. It's fine. What an honor it is to stand here before y'all. When you run for office in Montgomery County, y'all let us have it. It's a gauntlet, and it's the gauntlet that y'all, any elected official, deserves and should go through. You are not afraid to tell us what you want in your elected officials. You make us earn your support. We are not entitled to a single vote. We must earn your respect, earn our rapport with y'all, and earn your trust. We take your vote to work with us every single day, and you will deserve nothing less, and you will accept nothing less from us. The standards I hold for this court are the standards and the mandate that y'all gave to me. And my wife and my family share me with y'all and the court, and I'm nothing without the Lord. I'm nothing without my family and my wife Mary, and the success of this court is really because of the fine people behind me who do not settle. Jennifer Hayden's here. I got Nancy Slusher here. I got Lori Lucas here. I got my staff attorney, Lindsay Carm, here. I have my first bailiff ever in my court, right here, Shane Albritton. These people serve, and they're not satisfied. They've advanced their knowledge and skill. All of my staff are certified court managers, There's only 250 some in the entire state of Texas, and they are continuing to do their job, to do the job that you have mandated for us. So it's my great pleasure to serve and to continue to serve with all of our heart and all our skills. So God bless Montgomery County, and thank you for the opportunity that you've given me.
Thank you all. At this time, Commissioner Precinct 1 Robert Walker is going to have his oath administered by the Honorable Wayne Mack. Judge, Commissioner.
It's a justice court judge, so I won't take as long as the other two. I want to say that I first met Robert Walker February 7th, 2013. I'd seen him places, things, but we sat down at Los Pericos, we call it the Parrot and Willis, and we were both interviewing for the job of Justice of the Peace Precinct 1. We pledged to each other that day, not only would we be friends, we'd be friendly, but we weren't running against each other, we were interviewing for the job. And little did I know that 12 years ago, one of my very best friends would start that journey together.
Their name. Constable Hayden had big shoes to fill. His father, the late Charles, was Justice of the Peace in Precinct 4. He was Constable, Precinct 4, and Commissioner, Precinct 4. Talk about a legacy. Since taking office January 1st, 2009, Constable Hayden has grown Precinct 4 Constable's office into a modern, proactive, highly specialized law enforcement agency that has garnered the respect of all constables' offices across the nation. Under Constable Hayden's leadership, the agency expanded from 9 deputies to 50, with an additional 15 reserve deputies. Constable Hayden created many specialized units such as ICAC Division, Internet Crimes Against Children. They're proactive catching child predators that perpetrate on our children. They have a patrol division, proactive against stopping intoxicated drivers. Criminal investigation unit, proactive about drug interdiction. That unit recently seized 10 kilos of methamphetamine. That's enough pure methamphetamine to get the entire Reliant Stadium high and addicted to methamphetamine. So thank you for that. They have a swift water rescue team with boats where during flooding events they're able to go search for people and save people's lives. They have a fugitive task force team, canine unit, mounted patrol, and the very first constable's office to have a drone team. Luis Cardenas is FAA certified to fly this drone, and they are doing amazing things. This drone can help with rescue. This drone can be flown into a building as reconnaissance, and recently stopped an ambush from officers getting gunned down from somebody hiding, a coward hiding with a gun, trying to hurt our law enforcement. This is a very modernized tool being used by our constable's office. Constable Hayden fosters a work environment of self-improvement, encouraging his officers to gain more knowledge and training, as we just heard about Luis Cardenas and his FAA certification. Jesse Bollinger, lieutenant, graduated from the Texas Constable Leadership College, Leadership Command College. Deputy Brian Hosler, honored with 2024 Deputy of the Year. And Constable Hayden himself keeps up with all these training, water rescue training. He's an instructor at Sam Houston State University's Constable Leadership College and president of the National Constable and Marshals Association. Part of Constable Hayden's proactive policing is community outreach and accessibility. He's able to reach 250,000 people monthly on his various social media outlets, where people actually report crimes to him on these social media platforms, and his units respond to them. Constable Hayden implemented vacation watches and business checks, Citizens Academy. He's dedicated to our youth. He's got something called the Pray Safe program, where he gets with churches to get our youth to do ride-alongs, invested in serving as a first responder, which many have dedicated their lives to doing. He generously gives to our youth organizations, such as East Montgomery County Fair Association. He's earned many prestigious awards, such as Outstanding Law Enforcement Agency, Vehicular Times Task Force Agency of the Year, 2024 Department of the Year for Montgomery County, Diamond Hero Leadership Award, 2022, Community Leadership Award, and Best Practices Award. Rowdy's proud to be supported here by his family. He has his grandchildren. He's got 3 granddaughters. He's got 2 of them here, Nevaeh and Remy, and 1 on the way. He's got another one. Is Sissy? I don't think Sissy's here. We have his mother's here, Jerry, Motsi. She's everyone's Motsi, and she's a really good cook too. His team is here, and they're proud, and they stand with Rowdy. His wife, Jennifer, is here. His son, Jake, is here. I asked Jennifer to tell us about Rowdy, and she said he's committed to the community, and although he's missed by the family with the hours he spends away serving us, she says Rowdy's dedicated constable for 15 years, leading with an unparalleled passion and commitment to the community. He's selfless, a source of inspiration. He's my hero. It's my privilege to administer this oath to a great servant leader. And Jennifer, if you don't mind coming up. Rowdy, place your left hand on the Bible. Raise your right hand. Should have this memorized. Repeat after me. I, Kenneth Rowdy Hayden,
I, Kenneth Rowdy Hayden,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office,
the duties of the office,
Precinct 4 Constable
Precinct 4 Constable
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States and Texas.
of the United States and Texas.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Wow, I didn't know half of that. Well, it is an honor to be here. It's certainly better to be here than not. Thank you, citizens, for voting me in. I'd like to thank God. If it wasn't for Him, I wouldn't be here. He's put me in here to serve, and also in that line, Joe Corley gave me my first job, just like Constable Cash. Thank you. You started this, and I appreciate it. Sheriff Gage, thank you for all you did for me. My family's here. My wife, they've supported me so much. I have to give credit where credit's due to them. My employees, I have the best staff in the 16 years that I've been in office that I've ever had. All the stuff that Judge Santini mentioned couldn't be possible without the work that they do. And the citizens. They put me in here, they've entrusted in me, and I appreciate that. The new year coming, I promise to continue to serve and do the best I can to keep East Montgomery County safe. With that being said, I want to thank all the other 4 constables. Last week we had disaster struck our precinct. They were the first ones to call, what do you need? They sent help immediately. Within minutes they had their people in East Montgomery County helping. I appreciate that. That's the kind of working together that law enforcement in Montgomery County does. And I hear there's a new sheriff in town. Sheriff Doolittle, we're excited, and I'm looking forward to the same working relationship with you, and you've committed to that, and I thank you for it.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. At this time, Constable Precinct 5, Chris Jones, oath administered by the Honorable Vince Santini. I think it is only appropriate that we give the Honorable Vince Santini a round of applause.
Last but certainly not least, best for last, right? He says it's best constable, okay. He has a good argument for that. I worked with Constable Jones and his chief deputy, Chad Walling, went out to the DA's office as well as the other constables, and particularly when I was at Children's Safe Harbor as a prosecutor of child predators, and that's what your focus was at that time in your career. These guys would investigate the most heinous child predators that were perpetrating on our kids, would not leave any stone unturned, and would hand a case to me as a prosecutor with a ribbon tied on it. This same skill set he has brought to the constable's office. And it's commitment and loyalty when I think of Constable Jones. And it's with admiration and respect. He has dedication and staying power, not only to Precinct 5 Constable's office, but to the people of Magnolia and all of Montgomery County. Constable Jones began his career at Precinct 5 in 1996. I was in 8th grade. Friends was the #1 television show on TV. Constable Jones does a good "how you doing" impression. That's 3 decades of service. 3 decades for the same agency. That is loyalty we don't see in today's dynamic workforce. His longevity not only signifies faithfulness to our community, but a strong work ethic and expertise in law enforcement. He's joined today by his beautiful wife, Melissa. Melissa told me Chris is always on, 24/7. He gives his entire soul to the community to make it a safe place to raise a family. And this is where he's raised his family. He graduated from Magnolia High School. He gives credit to the agency's success to the men and women who work for Precinct 5. Since taking office in 2018, Constable Jones has grown the agency from 20 deputies to 55 deputies. He's taken the office into the future with highly trained officers and specialized units. Precinct 5 has their ICAC division, which we talked about. He's the first constable in Texas to station full-time at least 1 deputy to every single ISD school, Magnolia Independent School District, to respond live time, real time, and prevent active shooters at our schools. So thank you for that. He has his K-9 unit. He helps with drug interdiction. They get fentanyl off our streets. You can see his social media posts on that. I personally worked with them, as I've said, and they're just an incredible group of men and women. Constable Jones is committed to leading by example, investing in personal development. Since working for the agency, he earned his master's degree in criminal justice management from Sam Houston State University. He's a master certified peace officer with over 7,000 continuing education hours, TCOL hours. Constable Jones, proud of his agency, has earned several prestigious awards, including the 2-time recipient of the 100 Club Deputy of the Year, 2-time recipient Rookie of the Year, the Hayden boys, Josh and Jake, they've both been promoted to Sergeant this year, both got Rookie of the Year with Precinct 5. 2-time recipient Texas DPS Regional Directors Award for Southeast Texas, the Life Saving Award from Magnolia Fire Department, 5-time recipient of MAD's Deputy of the Year, 2024, current, your Bible right here. Please repeat after me. I, Tammy McCrae,
I, Tammy McCrae,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office of
Montgomery County Tax Assessor Collector
Montgomery County Tax Assessor Collector
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States and Texas.
of the United States and of Texas,
So help me God.
so help me God. Wow, I didn't realize how many people were in this room. I was sitting at the front and couldn't see behind me. But thank you all for being here this morning. And I would be remiss if I did not recognize, I have several of my staff here with me, my chief deputy, my quality assurance manager, one of my managers from the Willis office, Joey, who is also in our Willis office. What we do is every day, our priority is our taxpayers. We measure our success by you. How is your wait times? How is the customer service? And we ask for feedback because serving you is our #1 goal. We never take for granted, I never take for granted, this job is, I am not entitled to this job. I am a servant for you. And the people that work in the tax office, they are also servants for you. And so we take that responsibility, we don't take that responsibility lightly. We appreciate the trust and the faith that you have in us. And although no one likes to pay taxes, everyone that does come into our office, we hope that you feel welcomed, and we hope that you feel like you are the most important person in that office at that time. And with that, I'm going to close, but thank you again. It is an honor and a privilege to be able to stand before you and take this oath again today. So thank you for that trust.
Next elected official that's going to be sworn in today is Constable Precinct 1 Philip Cash. The oath will be administered by the Honorable Vince Santini.
I knew I wasn't even worried about it. We got B-Paw up here now. Hey guys. All right, we good to go? So I'm going to administer the oath to our constables today, and they called me separately, and it is an honor to do this. I've worked with these distinguished men before I was judge. I work with them as a judge. They come to me for search warrants all hours of the night. But I've had the privilege, when I was at the DA's office, serving with Brett Ligon and Judge Hudson, to work with these incredible law enforcement officers. So, in the Bible, in the book of Esther, it says that leaders are appointed and anointed by God for such a time as this, to use their authority and powers to serve particular needs at a particular time. Constable Cash is re-elected for his 3rd term for such a time as this. A time when faced with a mental health crisis that's only exacerbated by the pressure cooker world that we all live in, that we see a lot in the courthouse. Stressors of the demanding modern world. Instead of watching from the sidelines or detracting important patrol units from other emergencies, Constable Cash assembled a mental health response unit that serves all law enforcement agencies in our entire county. Constable Cash has grown this mental health program from 12 deputies to 24 deputies with the help of commissioners. I don't want to leave out commissioners. I mean, they fund law enforcement in our county. The 24 deputies are specially trained with a multifaceted life-saving approach. This is what they're doing in Precinct 1. They're saving lives. First is the response to the disturbance. They de-escalate while building a rapport with the disturbed individual and their family. This due restraint and degree of higher care saves lives. Transforming otherwise would be a suicide by cop situation into healing. And that way, patrol units can focus and serve other emergencies, doubly saving lives. But it doesn't stop there, because once the rapport is established, these mental health deputies provide their contact information, their cell phones, so they can be called directly in case if there's any other future issues, with a genuine, if you need me, call me approach. And there was an individual in South Texas, miles and miles, hours away from us, that was ready to jump off a bridge and commit suicide. And they were emptying their pockets. They looked in their wallet, and they had a phone number from one of these mental health deputies with their cell phone, and they called. Cash's units answered the call and diffused the situation, saving a life across the state of Texas. That's incredible. So not only are they giving out their information, they're conducting follow-ups with these individuals and their families, checking in on them, seeing if they need rides to church, seeing if they need a ride to pick up their medications. They are sustaining relationships and saving lives. And because of these efforts, Constable Cash has earned many awards. In 2022, Best Practices Award. He was a Humanitarian Hero Award. 2023, Constable Cash was recognized as Constable of the Year by the Justice of the Peace and Constables Association, which is the largest association of elected officials in Texas. Constable Cash is also saving lives with the additional 25 deputies working patrol, drug interdiction, and lake patrol. They're very proactive on Lake Conroe. They team up with these boat rental facilities, so out-of-towners that come here and rent a boat, they are training them, teaching them the boat safety rules, and they're working with the SJRA, making sure that permits are properly issued at these boat renting places. And because of their efforts, lake fatalities have decreased. Precinct 1, saving lives some more. Constable Cash is proud of the men and women who work for Precinct 1. He says these successes are a direct reflection of the men and women of his agency. He's joined today by his amazing family, his lovely bride, Heather. Lieutenant, I worked with Lieutenant Cash, Heather Cash, at the DA's office. She was my investigator, and of her right, an amazing cop. I asked her, tell me about Cash. She calls him Cash, by the way, not Philip, not Constable, Cash. Cash. Cash genuinely cares about the community he serves. His grandkids live here. They call him B-Paw. He gives his cell phone number out to people in crises. He never lets politics get in the way of doing the right thing. He attends church at Willis Cowboy Fellowship, and if you go to Cork This Tap That, you'll hear Constable Cash sing and play guitar too. So, Montgomery County, Judge Keogh, Constable Cash, Heather, family, it's an honor to administer this oath. So Heather, if you don't mind, in the Bible. Put your right hand in the Bible, or left hand in the Bible, and raise your right hand. Thank you. Please repeat after me. I, Constable Philip Cash,
I, Constable Philip Cash,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office,
the duties of the office
Precinct 1 Constable's
of
Office
one constable
of the state of Texas,
of the great state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States and Texas.
of the United States and the great state of Texas.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you, Judge. You can
going to be a busy man today. It's an honor to be up here for my third term. When I started 2017, I addressed the crowd and the deputies that were there that I was going to do the best I could to lead the Precinct 1 Constable's office. And through the grace of God and the strength of my family and the support of the men and women that work for me at Precinct 1, we work together as a team. The credits that I get as a constable come from the mission and vision of our office and the outstanding job these men and women do every day. They save lives every day. They go out of their way to be better. I'm so proud of these people. It's like having a family reunion every day we come to work. I have some great employees. They do great things. You know, I look back at my career. You know, Joe Corley's here. I don't know if y'all, Sheriff Joe Corley, he hired me back in '88 and gave me a chance to serve this community. I worked in the jail. I worked in patrol. I worked in narcotics enforcement for about 22 years of my career. Sheriff Gage is here. For whatever reason, he decided I needed to be a commander of the Special Investigations Unit of the Sheriff's Department. We did all the covert operations, narcotics, vice, anything you'd have undercover operators working on. So I've been blessed with a wonderful career. I was just a common police officer that was able to do uncommon things because of the strength I get through God and the support I've had over the years through my agencies and the sheriffs I work for. I hope to instill that into my employees. You know, we're on the same team. No matter what your rank is, what you do, you know, the two things you also got to remember why you got into this job to start. You know, what brought you into this is to protect the public and to serve the public. You should never change those two basic things of your life. You're here to protect and to serve. And that's what we need to do as elected officials. I know I can't call you Rich anymore. I got to call you Commissioner now, so Commissioner Wheeler. We were at a debate one night, and he mentioned being an elected official is not an entitlement. It's not, you don't get elected for life. You have to prove yourself every day you go to work. And no matter where your endorsements come from, the number one endorsement you get is at the voter box. Because voters trust you. They vote for you to put you in office to do the right thing all the time, the whole time you're in office.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I worked for all my life, had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my God above to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and you can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and to gladly stand up next to you when the better steals the day. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, from New York to LA, right in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you when the better steals the day. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. forget the little guy who gave that right to me and to gladly stand up next to you when you think of you today. As there rings no doubt of this land, God bless the
The oath is going to be administered by the Honorable Kristen Bays.
I just want to thank you so much, Judge Keough, for letting me come on after that as meet one of your heroes. My rare day was December 27th. That wasn't a day that I got to meet one of my heroes. I've actually known her for about 8 or 9 years. But it was on that day that Justice Leanne Johnson called me and asked me to administer the oath of office to her today. And I was starstruck. It was a little late to be a Christmas gift, but it sure felt like a Christmas gift to me because I hold her in such high esteem. She is truly one of my heroes, and she should be one of yours. And let me tell you why. Justice Johnson has been a trailblazing attorney. She graduated from law school, got through with law review, top 5% of her class, and she was invited into a very exclusive club of being a clerk for a federal judge. Not everybody gets that invitation. That's only for the best and the brightest. She then went on to a 27-year career in private practice in what attorneys affectionately refer to as big law. Big law was not big on throwing its doors open to female attorneys back in the day, but the partners at Organ, Bell, and Tucker saw something pretty special in her. And she did not disappoint. All along the way, everybody noticed her. She rose through the ranks. She became a senior partner at that big law firm, and people noticed her greatness. It was the partners of the firm, opposing attorneys, clients, members of the community who saw her philanthropy with Boy Scouts and with the YMCA. It was judges. It was everyone, except Justice Johnson. She has always retained her humility and her grace and her dignity and has never strutted around like the star that she is. So you can imagine her great surprise when she discovered that the governor of the state of Texas had also noticed her. He called to appoint her in 2013 to be the first female justice on the Beaumont Court of Appeals. The timing on this is important, folks. That court was created in 1915. She was appointed in 2013, so she saved the Beaumont Court of Appeals from having to acknowledge that it had gone a whole century without having a female justice. But her greatness really should come as no surprise, given her heritage. Her father served as a major in the U.S. Army in the Vietnam War, and he gave his life for his country, just like the song we heard. And in that, Justice Johnson learned the importance of sacrifice and love of country. Her mother was a teacher, both by profession and personally, and taught Justice Johnson many important lessons throughout life. Justice Johnson played volleyball, she played tennis, and she played perhaps the greatest sport ever, basketball. And her mother was at every game cheering her on, win or lose. And when sometimes she would lose, and back then Justice Johnson would have been known as Leanne, and Leanne was upset about a loss, her mother was there to give her one of the most important life lessons that has always stuck with her by telling her daughter, suck it up. Suck it up has pretty much been her mantra. She never shies away from a challenge. And to teach you something about her stature, one of her fellow justices, Justice Hollis Horton, once challenged her to a one-on-one basketball game. He's 6'4", she's 5'2". She beat the pants off of him. She has been a leader on that court in more than just basketball and keeping other people humble. She is committed to the rule of law, to our Constitution. She is the longest serving member on that court now, and she has ushered in an era where the Beaumont Court of Appeals is recognized as being the best appellate court in the entire state. third time that she's being sworn in, but the first that her mother isn't here with us physically. Her mother passed away just a few weeks ago, and I'm not saying that to upset you. Look, don't do that. Suck it up. I'm telling you that because I want you to know that she's here. I want you to feel it. I want you to know that she's here and she's cheering you on as she always did. She's very proud of you, as are we all. And so, it is with great pleasure and no small amount of pride that I get to usher you in for your third term, Justice Johnson. So I will ask you to please stand, face me, and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Leanne Johnson,
I, Leanne Johnson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Justice, 9th District Court of Appeals,
of Justice, 9th District Court of Appeals,
Place 3,
Place 3,
of the State of Texas,
of the State of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the laws of this state,
and the laws of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank
Justice.
I can just say thank you to everyone. If I say much more, I'll probably cry, and then my mom might not be that proud of me. So, but thank you all for coming, and boy, this lady, she says some great words about me. I hope that half of them are true. So y'all have a great new year, and I'm just so thankful and appreciative to all of you for making Montgomery County just a stalwart of conservative, and I'm going to say the word I probably shouldn't say, Republican politics. You know, what can we all say? All the elected officials, we're so thankful for what you do, not just for Montgomery County, but for the entire United States. What a blessing you are. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Constable of the Year by the National Constable and Marshals Association. Constable Jones' amazing team also give back to our community in many charitable acts. Annual food drives, they help with the Society of Samaritans, the Magnolia Education Foundation. They cook and feed our veterans. And he's the president of the Magnolia Support Group, which has raised over $28,000 annually to help our children at the Magnolia Livestock Show and Rodeo. Constable Jones, you're a servant leader. You're a great man to work with. It's great to see you on this side of the bench. You bring me good warrants. I don't know if I've ever denied one of your warrants, so good job. And Melissa, Judge, Montgomery County, this is a great moment. So if you don't mind, they got their very tattered red Bible. Put your left hand on it. Your grandma's Bible. Please repeat after me. I, Chris Jones,
I, Chris Jones,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or
I
affirm
will faithfully execute
I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office,
the duties of the office
Precinct 5 Constable
Precinct 5 Constable
of the State of Texas,
of the State of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States and Texas.
of the United States and Texas.
So help me God.
So help me God. I will be short because I'm getting hungry also. I want to thank my family. My family's here, all of them, my kids, my mom, my brother, sister-in-law, everybody. And I also want to thank the men and women of Precinct 5. They're the ones that make it easy to go to work every day, serve the community, and that's really all I want to say. So thank y'all for having me up here. I appreciate it. Commissioner Wheeler, look forward to working with you. Commissioner Riley, thank you for everything you've done for our department and everything in Magnolia. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much.
Texas Ranger, now my sheriff and your sheriff. County Sheriff Wesley Doolittle, the oath will be administered by Commissioner Charlie Riley.
Let's go, Charlie.
I was hoping you was gonna bring all those white hats up here. But we know where they're at, so, I've known, it's Doolittle, it's not Wesley Doolittle, it's Doolittle. That's all we've ever called him is Doolittle. I've known him for 20 years, and what you see today is what he was 20 years ago when I met him, and what he was forever ago. It's Doolittle. And the team he's put together, I'm almost willing to bet there's never been this many cowboy hats in the sheriff's office as there's going to be since Joe Corley or Tommy Gage was in office. I had the privilege of being with Wesley for about 3 hours last night, and that place was full of some of the most outstanding people that this guy has put together as his staff. And all the white hats, I was just proud to see a sheriff's office looking like a sheriff's office again. And look at this guy. There's some of them right there behind, but there's more scattered out throughout this whole thing. You know, a lot of us don't know how law enforcement works. I know a little bit about it, but I've seen this guy operate. I've been around him when he was Ranger, when I would come over to the sheriff's office to visit Tommy Gage and my wife, and Doolittle was there, always working, always taking care of business, always willing to talk to you, always just being Doolittle. But last night, when I was over there, and Sherry, I'm telling you, you and your family, and let me go back a little bit. Anybody wants to know how to campaign, wants to run for some kind of office? This guy right here, this is how you do it. I thought I knew what I was doing. This guy wore me out, and all I did was go somewhere with him every now and then and watch him, and I would go home so tired I couldn't hardly do anything. It's amazing to watch what him and Sherry did, but it was good to watch. But last night, when we were there, he did something that I just thought was out of this world. About 12:13 a.m. last night, he picked up a radio, and he said, Unit 1, which is him, Unit 1 to Conroe. Dead silence. Dead silence. So he waited a few seconds, and he said, Unit 1 to Conroe. It was silence for just a little bit longer. And then Conroe to Unit 1. And Sheriff Doolittle said, show me S.O. Show me on duty. But the best part of all that is he said, and I don't know if a lot of y'all heard what he said, I'm on duty, I'm not going to go off duty. So he has not went off duty. When you go off duty, you OD, you off duty. He has not done that, he's not going to do that for a long time. Sheriff, the court, and I will speak to the court if it's okay with the judge, and the new Commissioner Wheeler, Commissioner Walker, Commissioner Gray's here somewhere. We are looking forward to what you're going to do for the sheriff's office, what you're going to do for Montgomery County, and we're looking forward to working with you and your staff as well. And I want to extend an invitation to all of them. Anytime you want to talk or anytime you need something, come to my office, call me. We're all here for you. We're all here to support you. And we're looking for great things. I want to steal something from Tammy McCray. She came up to me and said, this is what we're going to do for this coming year. We are going to thrive in 25. Sheriff, if you will. Place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I, Wesley Doolittle,
I, Wesley Doolittle,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of Montgomery County Sheriff
of the office of Montgomery County Sheriff
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank y'all. I'm so appreciative of everybody here. I look around this room and I've heard and seen all the constables talk, and I'm thrilled to be working with y'all, each one of you, every office, every day, all day, to keep this community safe, to work with our commissioners, work with our judges, to represent what the white hat means. I see white hats here behind me, and I see them right here in front of me where my Ranger brothers are at. I've worked for 13 years. Thank y'all for being here. I see friends from all over the state of Texas, all over from other agencies that I've worked with, the Houston Police Department, Houston Police Chief Noe Diaz, thank you for being here. Thank you to my commissioners, Ridge, the time we shared on the campaign trail, where I learned a little bit about politics over the last couple of years. This is a very fierce county, and challenging an incumbent is probably not the best thing to do in most situations. But I love this community. I grew up here. I grew up in Splendora, graduated in Cleveland, went to school with Buck and Rowdy and Barry over here. I deeply care about this community. Me running for sheriff was a calling, something I felt, not just something I did. I see some mentors over here, Sheriff Joe Corley, Sheriff Tommy Gage, one in the back that I dearly love, Constable Philip Cash, who I've worked for the last 2.5 years. Thank you. Thank you for your mentorship, your leadership, your dedication, showing me the right way to do things. Thank you to everybody that's here today. When I look around here, I see so many people I know personally, so many people I care about. And as your sheriff, I'll do everything in my power to keep you safe, to work with all agencies, to work all across Montgomery County, from the farmhouses to the trailer parks to the mansions and the woodlands. I'll work every day tirelessly to keep you safe. When crime finds us, we'll viciously attack it. We'll take the Ranger approach. We won't rest until they're behind bars. So our judges here in Montgomery County, I see so many of y'all here today, and y'all do such a great job. Thank you for what you do, day in and day out. Judge Santini, Judge Echo Hudson, for the people I've worked with my entire career. This is something that I'm extremely proud to be doing, and I won't check off duty, Commissioner. I'll honor that, and I'll honor this community until my time here's done. So, a little bit emotional, but I was single with staff back here, of folks that are dedicated to you just like I am. I took them to the hat store about 2 weeks ago, if you can't tell. And I told them I wanted them to buy them all a white hat. I learned in the Rangers that white hat represents more of the Texas traditions that we hold true that you folks want in your communities. We don't want politicians that tell you what you want to hear or think you want to hear. We want folks in office that are statesmen, that tell you the truth. The white hat represents honesty, integrity, doing the right thing, and I've asked that commitment from my staff. I've asked it for you, I've asked it for me, and for the good men and women that work at the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office that are here today in support and working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to keep this community safe and reduce crime. I thank y'all for what y'all do. I thank everyone for being here today. And please don't hesitate to reach out, to ask us if you need help, to know that we'll be there for you. Constable, I will be there for you. I showed up at the last flood y'all had. I'll show up at these major events that y'all have going on, and I'll bring my posse with me. We're not going to let you down. Thank you, Montgomery County.
Two people that I would just like to recognize here today that helped put this together. First of all, they work out of my office, Kimberly Sutton, Jamie Minkowski, Jason Smith, and Jason Millsaps sends his regards from the cruise ship. Everybody. So it's great to have you all. I also want to recognize, we can't recognize all of our elected officials, but in the spirit of what we just experienced, Sheriff Joe Corley and Sheriff Tommy Gage, thank you for being here. For the commissioners, you got Robert Walker. Thank you for sitting over there, Robert. Rich Wheeler over here, Charlie Riley there, and Matt Gray over there. You guys are awesome, fabulous to work with. Thank you for making this all possible, for the resources that we have in our county to be able to do these things. And there is another individual who is here with us today, and that is Congressman Morgan Luttrell, who is standing in the back. Thank you for coming to Washington to experience this with us today. Thank you all. God bless you. Happy New Year, and have a great 2025.
And I believe in that philosophy. That was a good, I'm going to steal that every chance I get. It sort of sums up what we as elected officials do. So once again, it's an honor. This is my third term as your constable. We'll continue to do good things. And I have great men and women that work for me that make me shine, and I'm proud of them. And hopefully everybody has a great new year. In closing, like Brett Linklaw says, don't ever give a politician a microphone. I got my grandma's Bible. I inherited that when she passed. But there's a little poem in here, A New Year's Wish. It's, if you have grannies like mine, they've taped everything and used everything from markers in the Bible. New Year's Wish, may you have enough happiness to keep you sweet, enough trials to keep you strong, enough sorrow to keep you human, enough hope to make your heart sing, enough labor to keep you from rust, enough leisure to make you broad, enough religion to make you value the best, and enough love of Christ in your soul to make you glad to serve. Amen, and have a great New Year.
Now, David Eason, if you'd come forward with your family. Constable Precinct 2, the oath being administered by the Honorable Vince Santini.
Yep, you got the Bible too, family Bible, excellent, all right. This is an important moment. You know, the CEO of United once said, you know, tell them what you're going to do it, and then tell them what you did. So we have a lot of our elected officials that are being reelected telling you what they did. And we have Commissioner Wheeler saying, you know, I'm one of the only rookies here, which you're not, by the way, but David Eason, he's at that stage where he gets to tell us his commitment in front of the 1,000 of y'all and those watching online. His committed duty to Precinct 2 and to Montgomery County. David Eason is a homegrown, generational lawman. His father, Wayne, served for 50 years. And he was a major under Sheriff Corley, who's here. His brother, Andrew, served for 33 years, was captain for Sheriff Tommy Gage and Sheriff Henderson. David Eason, 27 years in law enforcement for Harris County, for Montgomery County SO, and for Precinct 2. Combined, that's over 100 years of law enforcement. That's generational knowledge and commitment and leadership and sacrifice to our community right here. He's also joined by his wife, Ashley, his mother, and Jean. David was one of us, raised here, our values, our core beliefs, going to church on Sundays. And it's this foundation that he takes into law enforcement. It's this discernment that has been impressed upon him by his father, his mother, and other leaders in our community. Jean is here. Jean DeForest. Let's give Jean a round of applause. "24 years as constable, and he's passing the baton on to David. And how this happened, it's not this like insider nepotism thing. It's actually a great story. And Gene told the story at his retirement. And it's, 4 years ago. I've known David. I worked with David just like these other amazing lawmen that are here and women. And David used to actually be my neighbor when I lived in Walden. We had a green belt, and he was on the other side of me and my family, and I always felt safer when we lived by David. But David's not a stranger to Montgomery County or serving. And 4 years ago, he ran for this position with Jean DeForest, and they were at some sort of event, as we all go to, and he gets to talking with Jean, and Jean gets to talking with him. Jean's like, I like this guy. Hey, guy, who's this guy over here? That's your opponent. And so even Jean couldn't help but hire his opponent with all this experience and generational wisdom and commitment. And David, he's going to tell you about his commitment, but he is committed to growing the office, to upholding the Constitution. Precinct 2, one of the unique things that they do, they have an animal cruelty division. Is that important to y'all? Yes, I certainly hope so. Our vulnerable populations, our elderly, our children, they have a great ICAC, Internet Crimes Against Children division. He's committed to furthering. He understands what it means to serve. He understands what it means to be held accountable. And he understands he does not want to fail his family, the generational lawmen that came before him, Jean DeForest, or the 1,000 of y'all that are here today in our entire community. So at this time, it's my distinct privilege and honor to administer this oath to my friend and Constable, David Eason. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, David Eason. Do solemnly swear or affirm. That I will faithfully execute. The the duties of the office Constable Precinct 2 of the state of Texas, and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and Texas. So help me God. Congratulations.
Thank you all very much. I really appreciate this. Wow, what a crowd. I'll be brief because I'm getting hungry. I want to say thank you to everybody. There's a common theme here today, and that's God and service. And when I started this journey, it was a seed that was planted by a friend of mine during Hurricane Harvey. He said, "You need to run for Constable Precinct 2." And I said, "No way. No, I don't want to have any part of politics." Well, that seed grew, and I prayed about it, and I asked God, I said, "If you'll open the doors, and I'll walk through them faithfully," and I did. And I lost the race against Gene DeForest in 2020, as I lose to him at golf. And we became friends through that process, and he invited me to come work for him, and I did, and I appreciate his support. I give all this glory to God and for his faithfulness in my journey in this. And so, to quote, "There's great responsibility and when it comes with great power," and that's from Voltaire, not from Spider-Man's uncle. But it means there's a greater responsibility to serve, and that's the common theme here today is service. This is not about me. This is about serving you. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for the faith and confidence in me. Thank you to my wonderful staff that I have. Y'all make the wheels turn every day. I'm very excited, and I'd be honored if my father would come up and pin my badge and my brother pin my stars on. So thank y'all for this opportunity.
We'd like to say a couple of things. I'm honored to be here today. 24 years as a constable, 52 years in law enforcement. Am I ready to retire? Oh, yeah. Is it sad? Yes, it is. But I'm giving it up, and I'm honored to be able to turn this over to a man I believe in that is going to take the four things that I believe in, along with God: professionalism, pride, honesty, and integrity. He has all four of those, and he believes in the one that I believe in. And I'm honored. Thank you, David. So I don't walk out without a bag. That was flesh.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all very much.
Constable Precinct 4, Kenneth Hayden, oath administered by the Honorable Vince Santini.
think the stage is going to fill up here, deservedly so. Every one of these speeches, I do my research, I speak with chiefs of staff, family, and it's just really an honor and a privilege to be up here. I don't take it lightly. Constable Hayden, come on up. He wants to stand by his lovely bride. It's not a roast, though, I promise. The book of Hebrews, chapter 13 specifically, speaks on the characteristics of a leader. A leader faithfully teaches the Word of God, lives a life worthy of imitation, cares for the flock entrusted to them, is accountable to God for their actions, faithful, worthy of imitation, caring, accountable, with a strong commitment to their faith, setting a godly example for others to follow. It's a legacy. Inspirational speaker in business leadership, Simon Sinek says, "A leader's legacy is only as strong as the foundation they leave behind, allowing others to continue to advance the organization in
for those individuals who have risen up and who are going to represent Montgomery County and all facets of our county government. In just a moment, I'm going to ask Jason Nelson to come and to give our invocation this morning as we begin, and there are pledges. Wayne Mack will come up after that. But before we do that, there have been a series of incidents that took place in New Orleans that I think that it is only appropriate that if you would all stand with me. And with the loss of the 10 people and the situation as it is there is just terrible. And that as we just have a moment of silence, and Jason, if you would make it up here to the front, please. Thank you. If you would remain standing. With me here on stage is Jason Nelson. He's one of the teaching pastors at Grace Woodlands Church. He holds a Bachelor of Arts, a Master of Arts, a Master of Education, Master of Divinity, and a PhD. I'd say he's pretty well educated. What do you think?
Yes.
Also holds a Doctor of Divinity. Jason is currently the co-founder and president of Acts 17 Ministries, a nonprofit that is focused on influencing governance with the values of the kingdom. He is also a published author, and with the Grace Organization is regularly invited to speak literally all over the globe. Jason and his wife Tiffany, raise your hand Tiffany so everybody can see who you are, who's also on the CISD board, is a member, and their family reside in the Woodlands, Texas. So Jason, if you would come forward and open our time in prayer.
Let's pray. God, we come before your throne of grace this morning with boldness and confidence, not because of who we are, not because of awards or accomplishments or accolades, but because of who you are, because of who Jesus is. We stand in his name, by his merits. God, you are a good God. Your word says that every good and perfect gift comes from above. It comes from you, and we're so thankful for so many things. We're thankful for the gift of life and love and laughter, the gift of family and faith and freedom. We thank you for the gift of the men and women who serve to protect and safeguard our freedom. God, you are a faithful God. As we look in the past, in 2024, we're reminded that you are full of grace, and your grace sustained us through the struggles, and you are with us all the time. But we know that you're not just faithful then, but you're faithful now. You're faithful today to carry out your good purposes. God, this morning we're especially thankful for the men and women who you've raised up to be leaders in this community. God, we thank you for the victories of the past year. We thank you for the successes, but we give all those to you, and we say that for your glory alone. But we do thank you for raising up men and women to be your salt and light in a world that's dark and bland at best. God, we ask that you empower these new elected officials or the ones who will won again. We ask that you empower them with your spirit and employ them to do good works in your name, to stand for righteousness, to stand for integrity, to love mercy, to act justly, and to walk humbly with you. We ask for your hand of protection be upon them, upon their families. We ask that you give them strength and courage, wisdom and insight to discern and decide your will and your way for their lives individually, but also collectively, so especially for the people they represent. God, let them be a pillar of leadership in this community. And God, I thank you for all my brothers and sisters here. I thank you for their lives. I thank you for forming them and creating them in your image to be a reflection of your goodness and glory in this world. I ask that you empower them by your spirit to be agents and ambassadors of hope and healing in this world. Help them to be the salt and light that they need to be in this community. And God, we give you this community in your hands. We give you this nation. We ask once again that we become one nation under God. You alone are the Lord of lords and the King of kings. And we worship you and we praise you. We ask that you allow us to serve you for your sake, for the benefit of others, and for the advancement of the kingdom. We pray all this in the name of Jesus and in the power of the Holy Spirit. And all God's people said,
Amen. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Nelson. Appreciate that. Next person I'm going to invite up here to the stage is Judge Wayne Mack. He doesn't need an introduction, but I'm going to introduce him anyway. Come on up, Judge. I've watched Judge Mack when I was in the House of Representatives. I've watched him take on those people that would try to keep him from having prayer in his courtroom. I've watched it go all the way to the Supreme Court, and I've watched him be victorious in doing that, standing for what is right and true. And I mean this from my heart. It has been remarkable. He has been at the head of the suicide prevention organization that he started. Also, is so intimately involved with the mental health of our community, and has done just such a great job. Of course, you know about his faith and freedom rallies that he has every year. We all come out of there, and we are so excited and so energized to go out and just do the right thing and be the salt of the earth. Judge Mack, we love you. You rock. Why don't you come, man? Would you do our pledges for us, please?
Thank you, Judge. You're so kind, and I appreciate what you and your team has done the last few days for our community with that terrible tornado. God bless you for that. What we're about to do is not just say words. We're about to take an oath. We got elected officials that are going to swear in their testimony, their oath of office. But what we're about to do is give pledges to our great nation and our great state. And our nation's under attack, but Texas is under attack. So important that we know these words and we say these words. And Paul told the church at Philippi, he says, I don't count myself as apprehended, but one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forward for those things which are ahead. I'm excited about what's ahead for Montgomery County. We've got some great things about to happen. Some great men and women are going to say yes to the Lord. So join us as we give honor and pledge to our great nation. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the greatest state in that nation, and so goes Texas, so goes the nation, so we need to shore up and join us as we do our pledge to our great state.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
God bless Texas.
Thank you, Judge Mack. You may be seated. You know, I have the opportunity periodically in the county to do swearing exercises for individuals who have been elected to various positions, whether it be the appraisal district, whether it be mud district, whether it be a local city like the city of Shenandoah. And as I thought about this some time ago, I thought when we say the pledges here and as we take our oaths, what does that oath mean? when we pledge that we will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States and its laws and the Constitution and laws of the state of Texas, how do you do that if you're in a mud district? How do you do that if you're a county clerk? How do you do that if you're in various positions? How do you defend and uphold the Constitution? Well, when most people think about the Constitution of the United States in relationship to those that pledge it, they generally think of those who are the president, who might be the president, the Congress, and the Supreme Court. Article 2, Section 1, Clause 8 of the U.S. Constitution requires that these individuals execute the office and will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. However, the Constitution also, in Article 6, Clause 3, all federal and state officials, including judges, state legislators, and magistrates, all officials in local governments who have been elected are required to take an oath to defend, protect, preserve, and uphold the Constitution. Now, also in the Constitution is the 10th Amendment. As the federal government is the umbrella over all of the states, what has not been delegated to the states have the freedom, according to the 10th Amendment. Powers not given to the federal government are reserved for the states or the people. So we have the umbrella of the U.S. Constitution. Under that, we have individual entities, states, and since it doesn't talk specifically, say, about the city of Shenandoah, about Montgomery County, in the state of Texas, we as a state have the ability to implement what we believe is necessary for good government. So how does that then relate to the U.S. Constitution? A city in the state of Texas has a right to exercise eminent domain. County does. We can exercise eminent domain. But you know what? We can't exercise a right to take away people's freedoms or to not give them fair market value. Why? Because the U.S. Constitution says if you take land, it must be at fair market value. So we exercise that under the U.S. Constitution, and we have regulations associated with that, but we do it the way that we believe it needs to be done. It could be that we as a municipality or a local government, we want to exercise certain things that are created for municipal subdivisions, such as counties, cities, and townships. And in doing that, we exercise permits. Let's talk about permits just for a second. Bear with me. Local government has the ability to permit activities. It does. But you know what? How does that relate to the U.S. Constitution? A city can give a permit, but it can't give a permit to someone who is going to have an organization that is going to hinder free speech, that is going to persecute the religious community. It can't do that. Why? Because of the First Amendment rights in the U.S. Constitution. Do you see how they're related? So those who are being sworn in today, you with our first article in our Bill of Rights in Texas need to understand. Texas is a free and independent state, subject only to the Constitution of the United States. And the maintenance of our free institutions and the perpetuity of the Union depend upon the preservation of the right to local self-government, unimpaired to all the states. So that we have local self-government because of the federal government, never forgetting that we have our guaranteed rights that have come to us from God, not by a king, not by a president, not by a county judge, not by a commissioner. They are not granted to us by them. We have certain inalienable rights that are granted to us by God, and that is guaranteed in our Constitution. So when we take an oath to the Constitution, we're talking about the very fiber of the United States and about the very fiber of the state of Texas. That's what this is about today. So as we begin, I'm going to first ask that the Justice, Texas 9th District Court of Appeals, Place 3, Leanne Johnson, will come forward and have her oath administered by the Honorable Kristen Bass.
God bless America.
Sure enough, it's on the agenda, isn't it? So before we begin...
Is Justice... Are you singing it, KB? Are you singing it?
Chaplain, you always do such a good job. Thank you for being so understanding. And as I stood here, I thought, is he going to stand up and say something? Come on up here and share with us if you would, please. Thank you so much.
I'm not as patient as God, but I am patient.
As you know Robert, know he's a family man, 6th generation in this county. His family came here in 1868. But everybody knows the best part of this over here is Janet Walker, because she made the great team. And everybody that knows Robert knows he's a family man. His family's first, and his success in business and the business-minded common sense that he brings to our court is awesome. And I know a lot of good people, Robert. I know a lot of good men. You're a great man. And I'm thankful that God has put you where he has put you. The highest honor any community can bestow upon anybody is public trust. And so all of us electeds that are here today, and there are many of us, the badge, men and women in law enforcement that wear that badge, that's public trust. It's a high, high honor. And so Robert, without any further ado, I consider it an honor and privilege that I get to administer this oath, and that you're not going to run against me next year. I'm proud of that. Come forward. You're good. I, and state your full name.
I, Robert Walker,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
execute the duties
execute the duties
of the office
of the office
of Commissioner Precinct 1
of the Commissioner of Precinct 1
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve,
protect,
defend
defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the laws of this great state of Texas.
and the laws of this great state of Texas.
So help me God.
So help me God. Well, everybody that knows me, if I prepare, I don't read it anyway, so I'm so thankful. I've got my family here. I got my 2 brothers and sister-in-law. I've got one of my grandchildren, and my lovely wife, and Judge Mack. Judge Mack is he's an interesting person. We teach each other a lot all the time. He's such a great man, and he talks about me, and somebody said a while ago, if I'm half of what he says, I'm doing pretty good. You know, when I took this office 4 years ago, Mike Metter, my cousin, was commissioner for 28 years, and I had some big footsteps to follow. Well, Mike didn't try to tell me what to do. He would, if I asked for advice, he would give it to me. Sometimes I would call him in the morning at 6 o'clock going to work, and he'd say, "Do you realize I'm retired? Do not call me at 6 o'clock in the morning." But anyway, our county is growing so fast right now. It's really unbelievable. All 4 precincts, we're just getting more and more people moving in. And as a commissioner, my job is the safety of everyone in this room and the whole Montgomery County, because we have to keep our roads safe and make sure our law enforcement officers do their job, and they are. We've got a new sheriff coming in I'm so proud of. We got a new commissioner coming in with Rich. And I'm just really looking forward to 2025. So thank you all for coming this morning, and I hope we have a great 2025. Some of my staff is up here too.
Thank you all. At this time, I'm going to ask Rich Wheeler, if you would come forward, Rich, with your family. Representatives, he was the mayor of Shenandoah. We worked together on a few projects, not the least of which was Tamina. After you having left, we had a new mayor, Mayor Scotto, who is here with us today. Rich continued to stay and help with that community and what was taking place over there, and the $24 million plus that Shenandoah was able to have as a subrecipient of the ARPA money that was given to us by the federal government under the authority of the Commissioner's Court, and has done a great job in helping us to get that done. He is a proud Baylor graduate, a U.S. veteran, and lifelong Texan. He's also a committed family man, devoted husband, father of 3. Since moving to Montgomery County with his wife, Laura, in 2009, Rich has actively contributed to his community, serving Shenandoah in numerous capacities, including on the Civic Club, Planning and Zoning Board, Municipal Development District, and as I mentioned, as mayor, 3 terms. He also balanced public service with a successful career as a national vice president for a Woodlands-based company. Rich felt to continue serving, that he needed to continue serving, and has now been elected as the commissioner from Montgomery County, Precinct 3, which happens to be my precinct as well. Thank you, Rich. He is driven by his faith. He loves the Lord. He is a true Christian man. Dedication to his community. Rich is committed to building a thriving future for Montgomery County. Now, when I was asked after he was elected, people would say, well, what do you think about Rich Wheeler? And I said, well, my automotive companies that I was associated with before I was in the political realm used his company through the finance and insurance purveyors and in sales. Although I did not know him, we used his companies. And they were all about the business of the car dealership. And so I would tell people that, and then I would say, so we know he can read a financial statement. That'd be an important thing, wouldn't it, Commissioner? Also, as mayor of Shenandoah for 3 terms, did an awesome job, was loved by the people, did great things while he was there. We also, as I was able to tell people, not only can he read a financial statement, but he also understands local government. How about that? Somebody coming into office who understands how government works. But you know, I think equally as important as all of those things, I think what is so good about Rich is you can sit down and you can talk to him. He will return your telephone call. He will have a conversation with you as if you are his best friend. You ask him to pray with you, he will pray with you. I know this. You ask him to be a listening ear, he will do it. And that is how he will treat all of the people of Precinct 3, and by extension, all of those in the rest of the county who are under the county authority. So it is a great honor for me to be able to swear in Rich Wheeler. And so, Rich, I'm going to ask you to come forward. Rich showed me a picture the other day of me swearing him in Shenandoah when I was in the House of Representatives. Isn't that fun?
Good symmetry.
Yes, so if you would repeat after me. I am Rich Wheeler,
I, Michael Ritchie Wheeler,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of Montgomery County Commissioner, Precinct 3
of the office of Montgomery County Commissioner, Precinct 3
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and of this state, so help me God.
and of this state, so help me God.
Commissioner, congratulations. Commissioner, Precinct 3, Rich Wheeler.
Thank you, Judge. I'll make this quick. It didn't get past me that I was the first rookie on the ballot here to go, so I didn't know what to expect. I did ask a couple of my staff that are going to be on staff with me at Precinct 3 to come up, Andy and Rhonda. By now, most of y'all probably know who some of the other staff members are, and if anybody else is here from Precinct 3, number one, I appreciate it. Number two, would love for you to come up forward so we can get a picture with you as well. You know, people ask me pretty often during the campaign why I was running. And the thing that kept coming back to me is I fully believe that our elected officials serve us, we don't serve them. And it's un-American to have a system of government or a person in a position of government that doesn't feel like they serve the people. And so my pledge to you is exactly what the judge said is, I'm here for a cup of coffee, a conversation, a phone call, a visit by the office. Me and my staff, we're here to serve Precinct 3 and Montgomery County. Thank y'all for coming today. Matt showed up. So the cat's out of the bag now, as y'all probably know. Judge Matt Beasley is now Chief of Staff Matt Beasley for Precinct 3. What does it say about an elected official that's willing to step down from a position to take a Chief of Staff because he knows how capable he is of serving Montgomery County in this capacity and what great things that this staff is going to do for Precinct 3 in Montgomery County. So thank y'all very much for recognizing them and the great work they're going to do. And thank you to my family for coming. I have my brother, my dad, and their families are here, and then my wife's family is all in the back. So thanks to everybody for coming today. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you all. Congratulations. BD, you and your bride would come forward. B.D. Griffin was appointed the Montgomery County Attorney on March 19, 2019, and was elected as County Attorney on November 2020 and re-elected in November 2024. I had the distinct honor of swearing you in Commissioner's Court when the appointment was made. He joined the County Attorney's Office on January 1st, 2013 as Chief of the Real Property Section and was named First Assistant in 2015. BD is a lifelong resident of Montgomery County and was admitted to the Texas Bar in 1984. He has also admitted to practice before several United States District Courts in Texas and the U.S. Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. BD Griffin has been board certified in commercial real estate law, residential real estate law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization since 1997. As a member of the Real Property, Probate, and Trust Law section, the Litigation section, and the Governor Law section of the State Bar of Texas. He received his Juris Doctor degree from South Texas College of Law in 1983, summa cum laude, and his undergraduate degree from Trinity University in 1979, cum laude. He served as president of the Montgomery County Bar Association in 1994-95 term. He is married to Chevis Griffin, who's here with us, and they live in the Woodforest subdivision. His hobbies include golf, composing music, and playing the piano and organ. And I was privileged to get a CD of the music that he had written. It's beyond belief. Now that we've got beyond all of that, let me tell you about how I really feel about BD. Because this is what I have experienced working with BD as county judge in the Commissioner's Court. You know, I've always found him to be very thoughtful in his dealings. He's never condescending. He listens and he seeks to find and deliver solutions to very difficult situations. If any of you have ever observed what goes on in Commissioner's Court, you've got 5 thinking individuals who are not afraid to express their opinions on a variety of issues. And BD has been in the middle of that, while at the same time has always remained calm. He is not loud or bombastic. I have seen him in the heat of the moment, in or out of court, remain clear in his thinking and fair to all involved. I say this from the heart. I have found him to be forgiving, so that he can walk away from a situation where disparaging comments may have been made, and he just continues to look forward. I know this because if I have had to suck it up, Kristen, and apologize for some disparaging words. BD is a Christian man who lives out the ways of God in his daily walk. He's a man of integrity, always available to discuss a matter, and there is never a time that I have called him that he has put me off. And I make it a habit of saying, BD, do you have a moment? And he always will drop what he's doing and he will talk. So I appreciate that. So with that, it's a great honor for me to once again administer the oath of office to BD Griffin. Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, BD Griffin,
I, B.D. Griffin,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of Montgomery County Attorney
of the office of Montgomery County Attorney
of the State of Texas,
of the State of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and of this state, so help me God.
and of this state, so help me God.
BD, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's a great honor.
Excuse me. Well, if you know me, you know I'll probably be very brief. I do want to thank everyone for being here, and thank, of course, my lovely wife and Judge Keel for the wonderful introduction. Again, if I can live up to half of what is said about, Judge Keel said about me, would be a great thing. Serving Montgomery County has been the high point of my career. It's been 40 years in law so far, and 12 of those years have been spent serving Montgomery County in the role of assistant county attorney or county attorney. I get to work. One of my best friends and scholars that I knew and used office with used to say, the satisfaction in the practice of law is completely dependent upon your clients, the quality of your clients. And in serving Montgomery County, with the county as my client, the elected officials as the client, as my clients, and the people of Montgomery County, I must say I have the best clients, and that is what makes the satisfaction in the practice of law as a county attorney so great, is because of the other elected officials, the departments, the people, the constables, the law enforcement that we represent, and the people of Montgomery County that we represent. You are what make it great. Thank you.
All right, at this time, Tammy McRae, our county tax assessor, if you would come forward. The oath will be administered by the Honorable Vince Santini.
I have one just in case. It's good. Of course you're prepared. Tammy, Judge, Montgomery County, this is the most exciting part for me is when I get to introduce great people and great friends. You know, the Bible has several references to tax collectors. I promise it's not bad. Many people confuse them as negative. But that's not how Jesus used tax assessors to teach lessons. We've got to remember that it was a tax collector and not a Pharisee, not a religious man, who humbled himself before the Lord and was blessed. In Luke 18:9-14, it states, "Those who exalt themselves will be humbled. Those that humble themselves will be exalted." See, it's not about the position, it's about the person. We forget, remember Zacchaeus, little Zacchaeus in the tree. Matthew, Paul, two of the greatest apostles, were tax collectors. Tax assessor collector is a tremendous responsibility. And with a humble person leading the way, the community will flourish. With Tammy leading the way, Montgomery County flourishes. She's proven herself over and over as a humble servant leader. The right person for the position. So I'm here to highlight, I have it just to one page, some of Tammy's expertise, loyalty, and leadership. Tammy is an expert in her field. She's been a tax assessor collector since 1991 in Sabine County, when she was the youngest tax assessor collector in the state of Texas. In 2006, she came to work in Montgomery County, and since taking office in 2014, she's revamped the tax assessor collector office of Montgomery County, making it the gold standard across the entire state. Her efforts are motivated not for herself, not to line her own pockets, but for the benefit of the people she serves, focusing how can she improve our lives. Her loyalty to improving our community starts with how she sees people. She sees them as people, with lives, responsibilities, everyday struggles, and she's assembled an amazing staff that is geared towards customer service, some of which are here. I know I saw Joey Mendoza here, and he got Employee of the Month, and here he is. He's a family friend of ours as well. I went to his wedding, his beautiful bride's here. These are people that live in the community, that work in the community, that care about our community. She's created a new queuing system to increase the speed of transactions and decrease wait times. If you've been in the tax office, it is a smooth running machine. She implemented online payments while reducing credit card processing fees. She has satellite offices around our county so she can serve the community where we actually live. Tammy empowers the public by providing tax workshops, educating us on important issues that we face. Here's what we care about. You know, some of the issues with tax collectors, she's not out here lining her pockets. Tammy's responsible for over $1.9 billion from 80 jurisdictions and has not had a single discrepancy found from the Texas State Comptroller audits. That's incredible. Thank you for that. Because of her fierce dedication to our community, Tammy McRae has earned numerous prestigious awards, including 2-time recipient of the Texas DMV Gold Standard Performances Recognition, Texas Independent Auto Dealers Association Award for Leadership, 3-time recipient of the Tax Assessor Collectors Association's President's Award, their Tax Assessor Collector of the Year Award, and their Tax Assessor Collectors Distinguished Service Award. She's not only devoted to her community, she's a resource to other tax assessor collectors across the entire state. Even the Democrats will come to Tammy for advice. And she will freely give it. She served as president for the Tax Assessor Collectors Association. The governor of Texas reached out to Tammy and appointed her to the Texas DMV board to help implement policies that help our community. And lastly, she's here with her amazing husband, Jeff, who I call her spokesperson. I don't know if anyone doesn't know Jeff. Just ask him about Tammy. He'll tell you all about her. And they have 12 grandchildren with their 13th on the way. Tammy's known as Nana. And I asked Jeff to tell me about Tammy. He says, with Tammy, what you see is what you get. And that's probably why she's everybody's Nana. He said that she's the go-to guru and a property tax geek. Jeff stated that while most tax assessor collectors dread July 25th through the October 1st, it's Tammy's favorite time of year because that's when she gets to roll up her sleeves and calculate the tax rates. That's what she loves to do. So Tammy, I am extremely humbled and honored that you asked me to administer this very important oath to you. That Judge Keogh did a great job of reminding us what it means. And in front of your family, Jeff, and by the way, it's January 1st in the morning, and this place is filled. So in front of Montgomery County and God, please raise your right hand. It looks like you've got